Everybody in attendance for today's school board meeting. We'll start off with the pledge. We have somebody for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Good job.
That was a good pledge.
Okay, we'll start off today's meeting. Are there any adjustments to the agenda?
Yep, there are no adjustments to the agenda this month.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that. Big crowd today. I guess we'll start with recognitions. Who do we have up first?
Yep, Mr. Robert.
Well, good evening. I have Miss Amelia Gibbs here. In the month of February, we've been focusing on the character trait of kindness. And so Mrs. Lee, her kindergarten teacher, has noticed that Amelia shows kindness every single day. She uses polite words, she includes others in activities, and is always willing to lend a helping hand. She's a wonderful friend to her classmates and treats all staff members with respect. Her thoughtful actions help make our classroom a happier place. Amelia is a true champion star when it comes to showing kindness. So congratulations to Amelia.
Thank you. Ms. Knoll?
I'm like the luckiest one in the room with these two little cuties. So we are celebrating January and February. And so this is Madison, aka Cookie. She told me for the first 3 weeks of school that her name was Cookie, and so she has lovingly assumed that nickname. Haven't yet. Okay, so we're going to talk about Madison first. So Madison was our winner in January, and we were talking about empathy in January, and her teacher said that Madison is a great example of empathy. She's a great friend to everyone, and she tries to make everyone feel better about themselves. She's always giving compliments and trying to make everyone feel their best. She is a great student. And then this month, we are talking about kindness, which fits very well for Miss Nola Hacker. And Nola consistently shows kindness to the other students in the classroom. She is very thoughtful and caring. She's always looking for ways to help or include someone. She always uses gentle words and has a positive and respectful attitude. She is a great role model in our preschool classroom. So girls, that's for you, okay?
So unfortunately, our Student of the Month for January couldn't be here, but we are going to go ahead and announce our Student of the Month for February. I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Fight.
Okay. So now I want to tell you, these are the words from Mrs. Wolf. Mrs. Wolf and I get to share Natalie. So we both agree that this definitely describes Natalie.
Kindness isn't just something Natalie shows occasionally, it is who she is. She consistently treats all peers around her with the utmost compassion and kindness. Whether she's welcoming someone who feels left out, offering help without being asked, or encouraging a classmate who is struggling, she leads with a genuine and caring heart. Natalie exhibits patience toward all that are around her and keeps a positive attitude, which makes our classroom feel like a community. Kindness is a quiet kind of leadership, and she models it beautifully every single day. Natalie is a bright light in each and every day, and we are both so proud of her to have her in our classroom family.
This is Hunter Hubbard. This was for January, which was empathy. Mr. Hansen states Hunter is an excellent student to demonstrate empathy. He is kind to other students and never judges. He is always there to help. I'm proud to be his teacher. Mrs. Reeder states Hunter is such a kind and caring young man. He works hard in class, participates, and treats everyone with respect. And Mrs. Myers states that Hunter Hubbard is an excellent choice for empathy. He displays kindness and acceptance towards any student he encounters. Hunter's natural disposition shows concern for others, but also leadership and how he is willing to work with any student at any time. We are proud that you are with us at GMS. Thank you.
So our January student of the month was not able to come, but this month we do have Trevin Long. He was nominated by 2 teachers, so I'll say with one teacher, and then I'll let Mr. Duggan chime in. So our student, Trevin, that she chose Trevin over the last several years as a member of has watched him as a member of the GHS baseball team. He's always so nice and polite anytime that I was around, but his actions before the county basketball team is why I nominated him for this award. I was walking into the school at the same time as the team arrived, so I took the time to offer high fives to all the players for the fun of it. Trevin was the last player in line, making sure that everyone had everything that they needed and held the door open for me. I would not go in until I entered the building myself. He's not only a good athlete, but he's a better person, and we are lucky to have Trevin in our school.
So for me, as an assistant baseball coach, I've got to watch Trevin over the last 4 years. I've got the pleasure to know him. He is always kind and polite, whether it be at sporting events, in the community, wherever it is. He's always willing to help out, lend a hand, and he doesn't have to be asked to help out. I've watched him stay late, work with underclassmen, help them out in any way possible. He's always the last one in the locker room after a road trip, getting off the bus, helping unload the bus. As Mrs. Goodpasture said, he's a really great athlete. You watch him perform on the field, and he's a great athlete, but deep down, he's an even better person, and that shows a lot about his personal convictions and his character in general.
I see you, Carter.
All right. Well, I have Miss Clementine here, and she was our student of the month from January, which we focused on empathy. And so Clementine shows empathy to her friends in many ways. She's the first to ask if someone is okay after getting hurt. She invites others to play at both inside and outside recess. She will make room at the morning circle so that everyone has a spot, and she tries to cheer others up if they're feeling down or feeling left out. Clementine truly understands the idea of a classroom family and makes sure that everyone feels included. And so thank you, Clementine, for showing empathy. Congratulations.
Good group this month.
Really good group. Really good. So it's nice to get in ones from last month when we had focused on our business to get in and out, kept everybody home safe. Yeah, so it'll be nice to see the smaller faces.
All right. Now the recognitions are over. We'll move to public comment. I have nobody signed in. Is there any public comment? No? Okay, just checking the back row. All right, we'll move on to the approval of consent agenda to include meeting minutes from last month, allowance of claims, financial reports, and personnel reports 1 and 2.
Yes, hello everyone. Last month you asked if I could number the finance packet. If you want to go ahead and scroll down to the page on the to F1, you're going to see that
You nailed
in
it.
blue. Okay, that's where we're going to start. It should be pretty easy. Okay, so 2 months out of the year we have 3 payrolls in those 2 months. Okay, January 2026 is one of those months. So the very first payroll in January was dated the 2nd. Total payroll 420, 292.52. And as usual, we've got some payroll taxes and retirement that we pay on every payroll. Total on that second payroll was 125, 933.42. We'll go ahead and head to page F6. That payroll was dated January 16th for a total payroll of 439, 250.59. And along with that came the payroll taxes and retirement. Total was 127, 879.77. And then that third and final payroll dated January 30th was 466, 645.44. And again, we had those taxes and retirement of 146, 358.37. Did anyone have any questions about any of the payrolls?
Nope.
Okay, we'll go ahead and move on to a list of prepays for the month of January for 2026. As you went through this list, did you have any questions about anything? The only thing that I will point out is that we did have 2 debt service payments for bond 2017 and GO 2017, and that was that 227.51.25 you're going to see on page F14. If we go ahead and go to the end of those prepays, and that page is F19. Total for prepays January 2026, 556, 898. We're going to go ahead and move on to a list of claims as stated today, February 23rd, 2026. That's going to be on page F20. Again, there's nothing unusual on this list, but happy to answer any questions if you had anything. Okay, we're going to go ahead and buzz through to page F23. Total claims for today, 295, 431.70. And then we'll move on to the fund report if you're ready. That's going to be on page F24. Education fund balance, the end of January 2026, 3,476,176.47. We're going to go down 2 lines to fund 300. That's operations. Balance at the end of January 2026, 1,179,68.86. And we'll go ahead and go to page F25. Balance in all funds is in that last column, 9,425,280.64. Did anyone have any questions about anything on the fund report?
Nope.
No? Okay, we're going to go ahead and move on to the depository statement, and that is going to be page F26. It says fund to fund balance. Essentially, we're looking for all of our funds to balance with all of our bank balances. And as you can see there, we balance to the penny. That's exactly what we want every single month. And then we'll move on to the fund transfer report. Last month, I let the board know that there was an incorrect school lunch transfer report that we were using. It's been updated to include a State Board of Accounts a report. So starting in January, I started using that particular report. But so we balance for fiscal year 2026 on our AFR, I needed to make up for any transfers that we had done since July 1st, 2025. Okay, so basically I needed to make up. So make sure that we balance at the end. Okay, does that make sense?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so essentially I took January and I basically didn't make a payment. I didn't do any transfer to school lunch, 800. Okay, we're going to have a minor one in February when I do the February transfer in March, and you'll see that in March. And I'll kind of go through this again, and then we should be on par moving forward through June 30th, 2026. Okay, but in the meantime, we did not have a school lunch transfer in January, but we did have that education ops, and then we did have a transfer. You give me authorization to make transfers so I can pay bills timely out of certain accounts. So we did do that. The total transfers for January was $689 and $75. And then finally, we'll just go through some bond expenditures. We did not have any new expenditures for bond 2021, but the last few months we have been talking about we are keeping some money back in bond 2022 to pay retainage on projects. You'll see here that we did make a small payment for retainage. There will be some more payouts that will be coming through, but in the meantime, we did pay a little over $26,000. So you'll see our balance there for total expenditures for bond 2022.
Is this the group that did the weight room and that stuff that's falling down now again?
Yeah. Yep. They're coming out to fix that.
Wonderful.
Yep. We'll be here over spring break. Take down all of it. Fix it.
Good. Good thing we retained it then.
Yep. Absolutely.
And then finally, we've got the expenditures for bond 2024. And as usual, you can just go ahead and look at the very last column, and that's going to be on page F34. You're going to see the balance in GO bond 2024. I've got it highlighted there, 195, 137.79. And just made a note as a reminder, Mr. Gibney brought up last month that we're going to be using that balance for some parking lot projects over the summer and partially for the safety door projects at the high school and TZ. So pending any questions, I'd like to submit for approval.
Well, I do want to tell you how wonderful it was to have the pages at the bottom. Made it much easier to do.
It wasn't hard to do at all.
Appreciate it,
I'm
Kelly.
happy that it helped.
Is there anybody got any
No.
discussions to be had? All right, we need a recommendation for approval.
I move to approve.
I'll second. Any discussions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, on to reports.
I'm going to share some information about our 6th through 8th grade ELA adoption that we have on an approval request for you to do in a little bit. One of the things that the state is doing is adding some science of reading requirements, not just K through 5, but K through 8 now. And also one of the goals that Mr. Gibney and I have had since I started in this position was getting an aligned curriculum. So these are just steps in that process to make sure that we're aligned. So we went through the adoption process with our middle school ELA team, and we started that in October. And through that, they piloted lessons. They were able to work with some of our representatives from Amplify. And I'm going to invite Mrs. Meyer to come up and just kind of share a little bit about that process from her perspective as a teacher and how we came to agree on Amplify.
Thank you for allowing me to come and have the opportunity to talk to you guys tonight. I've been teaching English language arts at Greencastle Middle School since 2004. And so Becky filled in a lot of the holes there as far as when the timeline started sheet. And Principal Clements and I sat down in August, and we talked about the changes that were coming from the state level on approved curriculum. She provided at that time an approved list for us to look through. I had participated as an observer in the adoption process a few years ago when TC and the other schools went through that. At the time, we decided to kind of table our needs and just keep them going with what we had as curriculum and kind of watch how the implementation went at the elementary. So when it came time for us to do that, CKLA got on board because we like that alignment between one building to the other. And so mid-November is when we first met with Amplify. They got us samples, examples, and our kits. And as a team, we decided we'd use the time from November to mid-January to interact with material and pilot lessons. And as far as our department goes, kind of our wants, our needs, we felt were to provide this, to have a curriculum that would provide both text variety and complexity for fiction and nonfiction. Strong alignments, of course, to our Indiana academic standards with both questions that challenge student thinking and learning. We wanted a written component to it, as well as differentiation to support all our learners. And I think the final piece was the ability for a teacher to balance the digital and print materials, allowing students to interact with both, but have some control with those pieces.
Was there anything else considered?
We looked at Savas. We didn't do any pilot lessons on that. If we had, Denise and I kind of talked, if we had a strong opposition to to amplify, we would bring in another one, but we really wanted to try and get that K through 8 alignment. And the feedback from the teachers, I sent out a survey at the beginning of what they really wanted, what they were nervous about with the new curriculum, what they didn't want to see gone. And then I did a survey at the end as well, and all of it was overwhelmingly positive, and everyone felt comfortable moving forward with Amplify.
What about training?
So
What's that look like going forward?
as soon as we have the approval, I've already have a date that we talked with the team about doing right after, at the end of school, doing a half-day training. They've already kind of done training with our Amplify representatives when they've come and done some work with them on the digital platform. But we have a half-day plan for that, and then they'll also get some additional time in the summer to do curriculum planning. And then we have options for next year too to have some like mid-year training once they really dig into it.
How do the teachers feel about that?
About the training?
Yeah.
I think, the experience that we've had with the representatives that have come has been very thorough, given lots of examples, and we had a parking lot for questions for him to address our concerns. He's an educator, pushes into rooms, so he does give some good hands-on knowledge on how it implements. Also been very straightforward about our questions that dig deeper into, how certain things blend, like grammar, language, into writing. And so he provides the support, what's embedded in the program, but then also, just some real application of here's what I've seen, how it works. Okay.
You're gonna take us to the top.
I think so. I would say, here's what I would say too, from just having been, let's see, this is, I think, year 3. I'm looking around.
Yes.
Is it year 3 that we're looking at the CKLA? So I'm seeing kids that are stronger in those areas than they were a couple years ago. Like just even the difference from maybe our freshmen or 8th graders down to what we have now in 6th grade. I like that the numbers are trending in the right direction for our checkpoints for all grades, but I know like at 6th grade, the meat of the CKLA program having that heavy dose of nonfiction has been, we see that as a benefit.
What about vocabulary? I think that's a huge one.
Pardon me?
Vocabulary. How's it hitting vocabulary?
Vocabulary is a big one. I like that they have a lot of vocabulary options embedded in this. And so every lesson begins with a vocabulary cushion. So it's there. It's there.
As a previous English teacher, as you know.
Yes, I do. Yeah. Vocabulary is huge.
Has to be huge.
Yeah.
Good. Good to hear.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Discussions?
Okay. I'm also going to share FFA week is this week. Our middle school and high school are celebrating and showing off their FFA pride. We have Spirit Week going on and a pep session, I believe, on Friday. Is that correct, Mrs. Goodpastor? Yes. I-read testing begins next week with our 2nd and 3rd graders, so they will be working on that. All of our principals have worked to create a really good schedule, get the kiddos in small groups so that they're focusing. So we are excited to see how they do next week. We also have SAT school day for our juniors on March the 5th. So a lot of wonderful testing happening next week. Kindergarten and pre-K roundup are happening April 9th. We already have 58 kindergarten students or families who filled out our enrollment form that we've been pushing out.
What day was that start?
Pardon?
What day was that start?
April 9th. And then 67 pre-K students have already filled out that enrollment piece. So we're hoping to get more in there. Our ISMA State Choir Contest was this past weekend, and Mr. Hansen shared they had 21 students participate and all earned silver and golds. And we have our band this coming weekend. 12 students participating, is that correct? Wins and
14 and 12 entries and 1 on call.
Awesome. And then we also have our DECA competition coming up. I think that's like a Monday, Tuesday of next week, and I think we have 41 students who qualified for state who are participating. So lots of stuff happening this weekend for our middle school and high school.
And Cyrus is going to dive in.
Yes.
Cyrus.
Sorry.
That's okay.
There's just so much to celebrate.
It is a lot to celebrate.
It's been 19 years since we sent someone off. It was since Pat Rudd.
For diving?
2007. Yep.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
Remember
it's,
Pat? Pat was awesome.
Yes,
He
yes.
That's
was
a
a
big
good
deal.
diver, wasn't he?
He
He was a
was
great
an
swimmer
excellent
too.
diver.
Both those boys were good swimmers.
Yes,
Yeah, it's
Randy
fun to
too.
watch.
Randy too.
And that's all I have. Unless you have any more questions for me.
Any questions? All right.
Thank you.
everybody's already taken my just a lot of, as you can see, it kind of as there is throughout the year, just a lot of well-rounded opportunities for kids, athletics, academics, extracurricular, just across the board, great opportunities. At Greencastle, I just have a couple of things I wanted to note on the personnel report tonight. You approved retirements for two gentlemen, done a lot for our school and community, both during the day, outside of the day, and we'll actually honor them with the rest of our retirees in the summer. But I did want to mention Mr. Hudson and Mr. Greenley. Thank them for that. We just hosted a girls' basketball semi-state. I think the gate was like $30,000 or something. Granted, that goes to IHSA, but when you had so this was a 2A semi-state, but the previous week we had number one Pike, who lost to Lawrence Central. I think Lawrence Central is going to the state title, but to have two teams from the largest class and the gym full, and a lot of positive comments about our school community facilities, and then certainly an opportunity for those guests to visit restaurants and everything in between games. So it was a great opportunity to showcase, but it was a great community that a lot of people put a lot of time and effort into that. So look forward to continuing to do those things in the future. Probably the single greatest thing I did to make everyone happy today is I put out a post notifying families that we don't have to make up May 21st.
Yes.
So we were granted a waiver day for that. We are out of asynchronous e-learning days. So provided all is clear, the calendar looks good without adding any additional days to it. Certainly, we do have the one makeup day remaining in March from our December 12th. I think it was December 12th when we were out of school. So I have that. And then with Mr. Greenlee's retirement, we're going to be announcing a corporation athletic director position for that. So we're going to be doing a little bit of restructuring with the athletic department. Help us structure that, help us offer a little bit of cost savings as we kind of head into these kind of trying times. Just trying to be more efficient with that as well. But nonetheless, we believe it's a great opportunity, and I'm really excited to seek out the next athletic director for Tiger Cup Athletics. And that's all I have for this month.
So I was going to say something about Doug and Doug because they were recognized at the basketball game.
Yep.
And I can't say enough about either one of them and the time they put in for Greencastle. Doug Hudson's been here forever, and he does so much beyond just the classroom that he does. I've seen him at speaking engagements all over the state and everything, so he does a wonderful job, and everybody knows that Greenlee's a Hall of Famer. So looking forward to the shoes that'll fill that position, and they're going to have to be big shoes. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, and another real just neat thing with that is the awards or plaques they were presented with at the ball game were made by our Tiger Cup Collective.
That is
and
true.
look similar to the Chamber Awards that were created by the Tiger Cup Collective. So just a good opportunity all the way around. Great.
Okay, moving on. Any old business? Doesn't look like there's any.
No old business.
All right. On to new business. We have our approval request for the second reading of the 2027-2028 academic school calendar.
Yeah, so it's been a couple of months in between first reading and second reading, in part because I wanted to ensure that I got good feedback from our buildings, and we have been able to get good feedback from our buildings. So obviously, as you can see, just with the year that we've experienced, our goal is to add more snow makeup days, build in more snow makeup days in the future the best we can, 2 or 3. So my recommendation tonight is actually that the board approve option B. It's pretty similar to this year's calendar, kind of on start dates and end dates. Of course, includes 3 built-in days as well. But the important thing to remember is we approve we always have a calendar 2 years out, in part because it's our goal to try and align with the fall the best we can, whereas the rest of the county schools are only out 1 year in advance. So we do our best to communicate and collaborate on that. That's kind of a little bit of background information, kind of why we're in the lead on that. But we don't typically make a lot of major changes in dates. Still ends before Memorial Day. There's a little bit of a window before graduation. We graduated on Friday night since I've been here, and I think for quite some time. So I feel like it blends the best it can while getting in, 180 student days and 184 student days and having the holidays kind of built into that. So, any questions on that?
Any questions? Discussion?
I don't have questions. I just wanted to kind of put forth that I really appreciate trying to balance the first semester with the second semester so that the days are fairly aligned. I like that. Both do that. I like the second one much better because of the built-in snow days. I like the fact that it's keeping graduation on the Friday of Memorial Day weekend. We have done that forever. And I think as Megan pointed out earlier, the first calendar has graduation on the same weekend as DePauw's graduation, and that is not a good thing.
Yeah.
So for those reasons, I will be voting for the second calendar option.
Any more discussion?
No, I'm glad that we're starting midweek back for the school year and back for second semester. I like the built-in snow days. I am in favor of option B.
Okay.
So Jeff, no other county schools go out 2 years in advance, you were saying?
Correct.
Right? Yeah. Do we share our calendar since we do?
Yeah, we share it with the other schools, and we talk about it because we share services with Area 30.
Sure.
And each school district has some little nuances to the calendar with the day here or there, but typically we agree on where our breaks are. So typically fall break and spring break are the same.
Good.
Okay.
So we have a recommendation to accept option B. I need a motion.
Motion to adopt option B.
Need a second?
I'll second.
Any discussions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That carries.
Post to the website and share with families.
Wonderful. All right, we have an approval request for permission to pay late arriving invoices for February 2026.
Yep, this is kind of like how we handled December. So we just want permission to kind of run a second AP in February to make sure we stay current with our bills. We've done this for a couple of years now.
That allows me to go on vacation, and I still pay our bills.
You said you wanted to share where you're going on vacation?
I already did go on
Oh,
vacation.
you
No,
did?
I will not share it.
All right, I need a motion.
And motion to.
I need a second.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That carries.
Thank you.
All right, we have an approval request for Amplify ELA 6 through 8 grade curriculum.
Yeah, so you heard the rationale earlier, and Mrs. Meyer shared some of the background information. So it'd be my recommendation that the board approve us purchasing the Amplify ELA 6 through 8 grade curriculum, so we can get it in time. Teachers to review it ahead of next school year, and participate in professional development.
All right, and remind us again where that funds come from.
Yep. So the 67,257.28 actually comes out of the education fund because there is no longer a curriculum materials fund.
Yep. Any questions? All right, I need a motion.
So moved.
Need a second.
A second.
Any discussions? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That carries. All right, we have an approval request for the new Indiana diploma.
Yeah, so technically this is more of an awareness type thing because students already have the opportunity to opt into the new diplomas seals earlier. But we thought it would be a good idea to add it to the board agenda. So the new diploma, it takes effect with the class of 2029. It's crazy seeing those numbers with the freshman class because I'm getting older. So we're opting in early just so that way there are additional opportunities for kids to take advantage of the seals. And then in classes 27, 28, we also have students who can earn the recognition. So it'd be our recommendation that the board approve this opportunity for kids.
Any questions?
Do we know how many students in 27 and 28 would
Be eligible?
be eligible?
It's probably fluid, just based
Oh,
on
sure.
youth, obviously. So ballpark. I can get you information to share with you.
That'd be great.
Any other questions? All right, I need a motion.
Motion to approve.
I need a second.
Second.
Any discussions? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That carries. All right, next up, we have an approval request for an overnight GHS van to St. Louis, Missouri. I believe the date is actually May, right? May 1st, not March. May 1st and 2nd.
Yeah, it is.
On the
Okay,
agenda.
May 1st.
May 1st until Saturday, May 2nd. The St. Louis perform at Six Flags. As have the other requests that have reached the board, they're following all policies and procedures, have chaperones in place. It'd be my recommendation that the board approve this opportunity for our kids.
Any questions? All right, I need a motion.
Move to approve.
Need a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those approve?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Okay. Additionally, we have an approval request for an overnight GHS girls tennis to Floyd Central High School, April 10th and 11th, 2026.
Yep, and those dates are correct. And we have Coach Pino Stadium back, and again, just another awesome opportunity for our kids experience and get all the requirements, board policy, procedure been met, and it would be my recommendation that the board approve this request.
Busy month for you, Coach. All right. Is there any questions? All right, I need a motion to approve.
Move to approve.
Need a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussions? Those approved?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. 4-0. A couple donation requests. Up next, we've got Putnam County Community Foundation to Deer Meadows Get Crafty Club for $600. We have an anonymous donor to GCSC for school lunch accounts for $1,000, and we have S&W Peak Center to GHS and GMS FFA for $500.
We'd like to thank those organizations. Miss Hill is here, and the Get Crafty Club has met.
We just met twice. We did cancel for the weather.
Yep.
Weather last week. But I would just like to add another one in March because I love it. Kids love it. We don't have a lot of time to do time motor skills like in the classroom. And so I think within 2 days, had the club full and max. Like I was tracking it at 20 or 22 kids. And it's just been really wonderful opportunity for them. And we've got really good parents.
Can you tell us about it a little bit?
Yeah, so each week, we meet from 3 to 4. Each week, we do something different based on specific skills that I want to utilize. So the first week we did, we glue, like just the dot not a lot, and we practiced doing that in the litter. And then after that, we did practice ribbing, kind of like skills. We did fine motor skills of just ripping paper and just dotting glue, put that down. The next time we made, we did curves and zigzag cuts and created
snowballs, kind of like a snowball theme for them. And then the last one we're doing paper, tissue paper, like a rainbow theme thing. So, and I'd like to try to do it again in October. So it's just,
What grade is this for?
it's all P2. So I've got quite a few kindergarten kiddos in there. I've got a lot of first grade and a couple second grade. Probably the biggest job of collaborating with our occupational therapists, and then also getting recommendations from the teachers on which kiddos are struggling with those fine motor skills in the classroom. And so we did some special invites to some of those kids to really, encourage them.
That's awesome. That's great.
Well, and I spoke to my friend Jenny, who works at the Community Foundation, and she was very impressed with Holly's grant. So they were excited about that.
Well done.
To see how it works.
So we make it to ask again.
We may get to ask again. That's a good grant.
Yep, thank you.
Okay, so on the table we need an approval request to accept these 3 donations. Need a motion.
Make the motion.
Need a second.
I'll second.
Any discussions? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried 4-0. And finally, other business.
There's no other business tonight.
Anybody got anything to add?
I do. I had a list. The DECA Club had some interviews where some of our citizens came in and helped with the interview process. Went very well. The sophomore class had interviews where we had lots of different people from the community come in and held interviews. And then this weekend is the art show. K through 5 will be at 11 o'clock awards at the Putnam County Museum. And then on Sunday at 2 o'clock will be for 6 through 12. And the artwork is being currently hung, and it is wonderful. So I encourage anybody who is around and wants to come out to the museum to please do so. Great artwork.
Anything else? All right. Brings us to our last one, adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Need a second?
Second.
Any discussions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Adjourned. Thanks for your attendance tonight.
Thank you.
I am.
So